Hi there, I'm Daniel Flexen and welcome to this week's edition of SecondsOut ReFLEXions. Here every Monday, 4:30 PM to talk about the action or events of the week just gone. And I want to start off with a non-boxing topic, although it is related as you'll see, but UFC 249 took place in Jacksonville, Florida on Saturday night. Varying degrees of success, critical success that is. There was no crowd and social distancing was apparently in place in the cage side area or octagon side area, TM. Although there were some kind of discomforting moments, especially at the weigh-in when UFC promoter Dana White was walking around fist bumping all the main fighters on the card with seemingly no worry about COVID-19. And there's also the fact that both the referee and the two fighters were in close proximity throughout all the bouts. However, we believe all the fighters were tested, and I think one was even found positive for COVID-19 and had to drop off the card as a result. So that's reassuring. And no matter how many kind of boxing people frown upon some of the safety protocols or lack of at the UFC event, it has proven that a big sports event can go ahead in the current situation, and I think that will only accelerate the return of boxing, which, you know, depending on your point of view, is either a good or a bad thing. I think I approach it with cautious optimism. I think we're all missing boxing, and if it's done in the right way and the risks are kept to an absolute minimum, which it seems to be the case certainly in the UK, then we welcome it back with maybe not quite open arms, but cautious optimism, as I said earlier. Then it comes down to which shows we're going to see. Now, ESPN are apparently showing some shows from Mexico in June. Xantha Promotions putting together some runouts for some of their top fighters, non-title fights even for the world champions. And may not be highly competitive matchups, but it is the return of boxing to TV. And then we'll look to the US and UK probably in July. I don't see any non-televised boxing going ahead anytime soon, predominantly because if there's no crowds allowed, which is how it is at the moment, how are they going to make any money? They won't, small hall promoters struggle at the moment to turn a profit. With no crowd, if they haven't got a TV deal, there's no chance, and it's just a waste of money. Some of them might also kind of manage or promote the fighters themselves and want to get them out, but I think if anything, they'll be looking to get them out on the TV promoter shows instead. That makes much more sense financially. And we come to July, and obviously Matchroom have postponed several events from earlier in the year, and tentatively the show in Wales, topped by Lee Selby's lightweight final eliminator against George Kambosos, is still scheduled to go ahead on July the 11th. We've also recently seen an E press conference, both for that headliner and also for the postponed Doncaster show, which was set for April 24th, topped by Terry Harper defending her WBC female super featherweight belt against Natasha Jonas. So you can expect that to go ahead quite soon, otherwise they probably wouldn't have done the E-press conference to keep it in the public consciousness. So I'd expect that at some point in July. And Eddie Hearn has already said, and I've covered this on a previous vlog, that he expects Dillian Whyte, Alexander Povetkin, Sky Sports box office event, heavyweight showdown, to go ahead towards the end of July with no crowd. So that's some that we can look forward to. I guess the biggest question mark is over Frank Warren or Queensberry Promotions, July 11th, currently set for July 11th, postponed of course from 2 months previously, April the 11th. Much anticipated British, Commonwealth, European, various other belts on the line, heavyweight between Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce, two unbeaten fighters. The winner of that puts themselves right on the fringes of world title contention at least. Fight I'm very much looking forward to, Anthony Yarde against Lyndon Arthur was also on the card. The rematch between Johnny Garton and Chris Jenkins, a number of other really good fights on the show, although obviously now the Board of Control have brought in these regulations, one of which is that you can have 5 fights maximum per show, so I guess the undercard will be curtailed from what was first announced if it does go ahead. But that's the big question mark, because I believe Frank Warren has sold well in excess of 10,000 tickets already for Dubois Joyce before the initial postponement. Now obviously those tickets can be carried over to the new date, but if the rules are still in place that shows can only go ahead with no crowd, will Warren want his show, probably his biggest show of the year, at least on UK soil, to go ahead without that gate money that was looking pretty healthy? Obviously it's also set for BT Sports box office pay-per-view, and they'll make money from that, but it's a big chunk of the revenue, a big revenue stream that would be cut off. And it might be that if they delay it another month or two, if they delay it to September in a new season, for example, it might be a point where they can start letting fans back into arenas again, albeit with social distancing still in place. So somewhere like the O2, for example, that holds, I don't know, how many is the O2 hold? 17,500, 18,000? You might have to do social distancing in place and only have 6,000. But surely a 6,000 gate is better than no gate at all. Unless they move the show to like a TV studio or something like that, rather than have it in an arena, whereas you don't pay the venue fee. But is that even refundable, the original venue fee? It was obviously moved 2 months later. Can they cancel it entirely without any penalty? I don't know. But out of all the fights being rescheduled, that one, because it might not do amazing on pay-per-view, it'll do alright, and the fact that they sold so many tickets already suggests that they might have to wait a bit longer for that. But we'll wait and see. What I'd like to know from you guys is, out of the fights that we know are going to happen July or the month or two after, what are you most looking forward to? What are you really looking forward to seeing, either in the US or the UK or even worldwide? Let me know what you think, and also how confident you are about boxing returning at least to TV in July. I'll be back on Thursday for FLEXpectations, 4:30 PM, and next week Monday for the next ReFLEXions, again 4:30 PM. Really appreciate your time and I look forward to hearing from you. Cheers.